All right.
We are live. We are live. Hello, everyone, and happy New Year. Welcome to Reset with Raven. I am the host, Raven M. Harris, and this channel and conversation is real conversations with people who have successfully navigated the reset. This is for anyone looking to make a pivot, a shift, or change in your life and seeking to reinvent themselves, rebrand themselves in career, business, and life. And today's guest is Tara Whitney Risen. Woo! Yes, she is a functional nutrition coach. Tara educates people through her online health and wellness business. In addition, she empowers and uplifts through holistic wellness, inspiration, and self care. Tara is an MFA trained actress known for her work in Newton's Grace and Happiness as a Luxury. Her expertise is in empowering people to take control of their emotional and physical wellness. She is the collaboration queen and one of the primary and chief inspiration for this new discussion. She's ecstatic, y'all, about the amazing possibilities and success to come in this new year. Please welcome Tara Whitney Risen.
Oh my God. I hope this can be recorded because I need that introduction every single time I wake up in the morning.
Yes. I am super excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So today's discussion is all about identity and how identity has an impact and shapes some of our resets in life. So Tara, please share with us how your most recent reset has led to you rediscovering your own identity.
Yeah, it's such a good question. I think honestly, the word reset is my favorite word now, really, because I've been saying it for the past month. I've really been talking about that, really, maybe even the past year. But when I think about reset, I just think about restoration. I think about renewal, rejuvenating, and that can be in so many different facets of our life. And so this year in particular, obviously, we've been hit with like a global crisis. And there were these options, I think, that happened over the course of time last year. Whoa, I'm saying last year now in 2020, where people either had to decide what they were going to do. Are they going to allow it or let it sort of consume how they operate and how they show up in the world? Oh, I think you're gone, Raven.
Oh, no, I'm still here. You're the main focus. Keep it going.
It's like she's gone. No, yeah, I just, people had to decide whether it was going to be something that, kept them sort of in hiding, or if it was going to allow them to expand upon what they're doing right now and figure out how they can pivot, in this new environment, in this new world that we're in. And so for me, I really had to think about what that was. All of my acting work was gone. It just sort of, went away. And my teaching artist work, that had shut down. The things that I was doing in that moment were gone. And I didn't have the option to, do those things in that moment anymore. My husband was also laid off. And I was kind of like, well, what's next? I don't know. I knew that I had a wellness business. I had started that as a vehicle because I knew that I wanted to be an artist, but sometimes that lifestyle and that work isn't always financially stable. So I was like, well, what are you going to do? You have this vehicle that you created, one, because you know that you love wellness. And so you may have to shift the priority. And that's what I did. Is for the last 9 months, I've been shifting my priority. And it's really been about wellness. It's really been about growing this vehicle and growing this business that was going to allow me to do the things that I wanted and allow me to live the way that I wanted to live. I want to grow my family one day. I want to own a home one day. I want to be working in my artistry. I want to be an actor, and I want to be doing that work most of the time. And I need to figure out what that looks like for my life. And so I've been spending this last 8 months growing and pivoting and learning to be okay with not having this one track mind that I was only supposed to do this one thing in my life, which was being an artist. And what I found out was that is my foundation. My artistry isn't going away just because I'm not doing it 24/7. But I was sort of attached to that identity. I was stuck with it. Well, like, no, I'm an actor. I'm an artist. This is what I do. But although I couldn't do that right then. So I was like, if you can't, what is next? What is your life? What is this, your arena consist of? And I realized how deeply I'm invested in wellness and how deeply I'm invested into serving my community, into helping myself. And because I followed that track, it opened so many doors. It opened so many doors to creativity and to just career and foundation and life. And I didn't sort of obsess over it and think that because I wasn't doing this one thing at that moment in time, all day, every day, that I wasn't it anymore. We are multifaceted people, and I had to discover that. But I had to discover it. I discovered it once it was taken away. And I don't know if I would have done that. I don't know if I would have sort of reset and pivoted in that way if it wasn't taken away. So yes, this was a global crisis, but it was also a moment of reflection for me to decide, what do I want to do right now to enhance the quality of my life?
I have a question. Why do you think that we attach our identity to one thing? Why do we feel that we can only do just one thing or have one purpose that is the only thing that we represent? Why do you think our identity is attached to? Is it because of training, school?
So much.
Indoctrination? What is that?
Oh gosh, so many different factors. I mean, it's definitely training. It's definitely the way this world works. I mean, we're in a very traditional conservative world. So, we're taught to go to school and, you find that thing that you want to do, you go to school, you get your degree, and maybe after school you do some secondary, college and training, and you get a job in that field. And then you take off and you work for 50 years and then you retire. But that is not the way life works. That is not the way people's careers are working. We live in an expensive, very
Say that again.
traditional world. And people are finding that is not what is actually effective. That's not actually what's happening in people's lifetimes, in people's lifestyles. People who, have had jobs for like over, 40 years, that's gone. It disappeared in a matter of moments. It disappeared. It ended. And people had to pivot after 50 years, and owning a restaurant or, having some kind of other, job where they couldn't show up to it. So I think it's training. I think it's environment. I also think it has a effect on our psychological health, because we think that is what we're supposed to do. And if we're not doing that, we're actually not existing or really fully like living or surviving or thriving in this world. But it's just not the case.
I call it existing but not living. Yeah. And I think that it's so important to figure out how to not just exist and go through life or go through your entire experience of being, just going through with emotion. I see so many people who are going through the motion. They're just, I'm just here. I go to my work, I go to my job, if that's even available now. And it's treading water, not moving, just trying to stay afloat. And I feel like it limits you. It creates blocks on what you can achieve, who you can be. where you can go in your life. And
Mhm.
I'm curious, you talked about how this past year has caused you to do a lot of reflection. How has your identity or lack of identity changed over this past year and changed over or evolved rather throughout this
Mhm.
reset in your life?
Woo! Wow. There's my gosh, there's such a different belief system that I have. I've had to really hold on and have more faith. We throw that
Mm,
word around a lot, but it's not thinking about faith or trying to, hope. It's having faith. You know,
yeah.
it's faith is um believing when you can't see it.
Mm,
It's believing when you can't see it. And so if you believe in that vision that you have for your life, it trumps not the self gratification that you might need in those moments, or being able to withstand the delayed gratification that you might experience while you're on this path. And so for me, that reflection was really about, um, how do I keep hold of that vision,
mm.
sustain my faith when I know I may not see results or achievements or accomplishments right in that moment. And
In
on
the
top of that, I'm
now.
not doing
Yeah.
it
In
the
the
way that I
now.
love. Yeah, right now. So we have to be, we crave um, gratification. We crave it. We know that it means that we're getting somewhere, or we're being recognized.
Or
But
even acknowledgement.
yeah, just
Acknowledgement. One of
acknowledge.
the things that is huge, and you hear the terms now, they calling it vanity metrics, or as the
Oh,
young folks
wow.
calling it,
Really?
no cap. You hear people saying, oh, well, how do I make sure that everything I focus on is not around likes and comments and having it right now and instant gratification?
Mm,
Everyone is searching and seeking appraisal of approvement, like I approve you, I acknowledge you,
yeah.
I see you, I gave you this comment, I gave you this, like I have this many followers. I actually heard Gary V is the king of stop introducing yourself with I have this many followers, I have this many likes. It is like
What?
now,
Oh
yes,
my
it's
god.
how people now present themselves, like, oh, who are you?
Really?
And
Wow.
how often too, when we say the number one thing when we're at a networking event or we're meeting people, we say, oh, what do you do? We
Oh,
don't say, who are you? Or,
who are
how can I
you?
connect with you? How can I
Oh
serve you? We start
my,
with, what do you do?
yeah, you're right. What do you do? As if what you do is who you are, and it's not.
Exactly. And I've seen
No.
so many times people discredit and or overlook someone because the first thing that comes out of their mouth in terms of their occupation or career, again,
Mm,
those are just vehicles. They're not who you are, they're not your identity, they don't define you, but
yes.
it's how people introduce themselves. Hi, I
Mm,
am an entrepreneur. I am a lawyer. I am a school teacher. I am a CEO. Or I keep hearing over and over, I'm in corporate America. It's how
mm,
people assert who their identity is. And so
wow.
much is attached to that. So much
It is.
is how people have, I guess, justified their existence and who they are to themselves. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's crazy.
It
I'm
is.
I'm curious from your perspective, what can we do to reset how we define our own identity?
Hmm. I I think it takes a lot of courage.
Mm,
One, it's a lot of courage to look beyond or look past the noise, because we often sometimes we take in a lot of the noise. That's one, and then two, we assume that our current circumstance is who we are,
mm,
and how far we're going to go. It now reflects our future when it doesn't. Even if you could be doing like amazing things, and that is the current circumstance, and that's awesome, right? That people are doing well in those given moments, and lots of awesome stuff is happening. But you still have to sustain that. It needs to be a sustainable vision. And if you are easily sort of affected by what your current circumstances like right now, and in outside external factors, then you're going to continue to get off track.
How do you see beyond that, though? How do you see beyond current circumstances? How do you get out of that feeling of I am stuck in the now? The future sounds great and all. How do I move beyond that?
One, you need to surround yourself by like-minded people. You need to surround yourself by like-minded people. Your environment is also everything. I actually heard, I was listening to a sermon the other day, and it was talking about sometimes it's not always about like getting rid of folks, because we get in this zone where we're like, I know where I'm going, I know where I'm headed, or I'm trying to know where I'm going and trying to know where I'm headed. So I got to remove these folks from my life. I got to get away from. Well, it's like, yes, and sometimes it's about rearranging people.
I haven't heard that. Rearranging people.
Yeah, rearranging people, rearranging things that are interfering with your productivity. Because if it's interfering with your mental health, it's interfering with figuring out where I want to go and what action steps I need. You have to remove yourself sometimes from those circumstances. You have to remove yourselves from that environment, and you have to surround yourself with like-minded people who are going to empower you to get to where you want to go, and who are also doing the same thing. That was a huge part of that. Removing those negativity, removing the things that are just sort of interfering with your life, that aren't serving you, especially if you have an idea in mind of what goals and vision that you have for your life. That's the thing. Write down your goals. Write them down. Make them concrete. Write down what your vision is. Forget about how you're going to get there. Just talk about and think about and write down where it is you want to go, regardless of financial security, regardless of how much money you have in the bank right now, where you are, what kind of job regardless of that. What is it that you want, that you see for your life, that you see for your future, that you see for your now? Write that down and make it concrete, and you provide, and then start to think about what are those action steps. That's professional development. A lot of this talk about vision and pivoting and resetting is about personal development, and it's about growth. Because you can just like say all you want. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But if you are not prepared for people trying to get in your way, if you're not prepared for the environment that may interfere with where you're trying to go, then you're gonna always get off track.
And you know what you just said too about environment, people around you. I think one of the things that I've had as the biggest revelation is it's okay. You will be judged. If you are concerned or you have a fear of they're going to look at me, they're going to talk about me, they will. It's not in your head. They will. But, Lisa Nichols, she is part of the Secret. She's been on Oprah. She's been on Steve Harvey. She has a company called Motivating the Masses. She is a powerhouse. She says you have nothing to protect. You have nothing to defend. When you know who you are, again, back to identity. When you know who you are, you know what you carry, you know what you bring and how you serve the world. You can walk in confidence. You can walk in a strong purpose. You can walk really, really knowing that whatever they say about me, it's none of my business. Whatever people think about me, it's none of my business. I am here to serve. I am here to provide value. And when you talked about goal setting, yes, because one of the things that is powerful, that brain hand connection when you're writing something down, and also too, putting those goals out there. So your 2021 goals right now should be mapped out. And I was listening to some people who are highly successful. They already have 2022 planned out. They already have 2022 planned out. And oftentimes you have to look at life right now as decades. Legends are built and made in decades. So people underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. People will remember the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. What are you doing to say 10 years from now, who will Tara be 10 years from now? Who will Raven be? Remember, one of the things that I do, and I am really great at helping people who are in transition, is create the CEO of you. You are your own brand.
Oh,
I am the brand
yeah.
of Raven M. Harris. Tara
Woo.
is the brand of Tara Whitney
Yes,
Rising. You
yes.
are your own brand. So
Right.
what are you doing to put your brand out there? It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a working professional, you are the brand of you. But where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? Who do you want to be? Put those goals out there and figure that out and you know what? Reverse engineer it. Like you said, what
Mm.
actions, what steps do you have to take to get to where you want to be?
Yeah. And so much of it starts with self. So
Mm.
much of it is self work because other people are not meant for your dream. There's some people that are not
He didn't
meant to
give the
go with
vision to
you.
them. He didn't
Yeah.
give the vision to them.
No, they're not meant to be on the boat. They're not meant to be on your boat to where you want to go. And that's okay.
That's
It is
okay.
okay. You don't have to start dismissing people, but you do need to rearrange them. Because if they're not going to support you or empower you or uplift you to where you need to go or where you want to go, then it's not going to serve you in the immediate future or in the long run. So you got to rearrange things. You got to rearrange some folks, and the environment piece is just so huge. But that self work, that self personal development is invaluable. It really, really is because you end up once you start to rearrange folks, this is and you start making excuses and you finally, you get those folks or those people or environments sort of out of the way, you put them in a place where they need to be. You have nothing to really face but your own self-doubt after that.
Ooh. Ooh.
You have to start to think, is it my doubt? Is it my fear that's getting in the way? Is it my fear that's
Self-limiting beliefs.
yeah,
Self-limiting beliefs. That
self-sabotage,
has
yeah.
been one of the biggest things that I'm recognizing I've allowed, take
Mm,
ownership of it too,
yeah.
to prevent me from moving further. I heard
Mm.
someone yesterday call it blessing blockers. I block my own.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And that fear in my mind. And one of the great things that you talked about just then was when you've rearranged people,
Mhm.
you are in the position to where the people that are around you are uplifting, the immediate people, that immediate circle. They
Mhm.
are uplifting, they are encouraging. So then when there is any negativity, like you said, you have to check yourself. You have to look within.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
think one of the biggest things to do, I was telling, I hosted a master class on goal setting 2 days
Of course you
ago, and
did.
we talked about making sure that you are selfish and that self-love and that self-care and that understanding that self-value, self-worth, and doing that self-work.
Yeah.
That is what I am committed to, is doing that self-work. How do
Yeah.
I improve? How do I, remove and start overcoming those self-limiting beliefs? And the thing about it is it's not an overnight process. Just like you have to brush
No.
your teeth and shower daily, this is
Mhm.
something you have to go into daily. And again, I want to shout out Tara again. Tara is one of the people that was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. I will support
Right.
you. I will
Mhm.
help you however I can. Let's go. When we starting? When's the
Mhm.
first recording? You need people around you like that are
Yeah.
like, okay, when are we gonna do it? I've designated her. She doesn't know this. She's finding out now. My unofficial accountability, one of my accountability partners, because she was like, okay, when is it? When are we putting this on? When are we getting on? Are we going live? What's going on? What's happening? Let's go. You need that in your life. You
Yes.
need people in your life that are going to
Yeah.
push you, motivate you, and say,
Mhm.
let's do this. And you know what? Not only let's do this, how can I help you? How can I serve you? And
Mhm.
how can um,
Absolutely.
Keith Ferrazzi, he's the author of Never Eat Alone.
Mhm.
How he talks about acts of generosity. Make sure
Mm.
you are serving people. So, how are you helping people? How are you collaborating with people? What are you doing to ensure that, there's reciprocity in this relationship?
Oh, yes. Yes. Give. give. Because, sometimes, the networking, as much as we want to grow ourselves, and we do want to be selfish, like you said, in that self-love and that self-work and self-care, but sometimes even that work is delayed gratification. So it
Mm.
might be in that moment that you need to help someone else. You need to be there to help someone else and help elevate them. And how that comes back around, and how we, get back to one another, and how it may serve you in the long run, like that, you've just planted a seed and watered it. You
Mm.
didn't even know. So I just love that. I can't help but want to support other people. And it's because once you get to that place where you know what you need to do and what you're doing for yourself, and you're in that flow, you don't want to do anything but help other people get to that. It's
Mm.
exciting. It's invigorating to have a vision and go after it and help support other people and elevate them to get to that point as well. It's so cool. But I also am growing when I do that. I grow, and that's what's so great about my business is I grow when other people grow. I grow by helping other people get to where they want to go. I'm like, all you can do is lock arms and run. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together. And it's like, ah,
Mm.
that. I love that so much, and I want to go far. I don't know what the time frame is, but I know that I'm going far, and I have lots of other people around me, and now I have one more. Thankfully that we got to reconnect, and we're resetting together.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So before I ask my last question, let everyone know how can they find you, and how do you serve? How do you serve, and how can they connect with you?
Yeah. So, my wellness business is an online wellness business, and I really share opportunity around this vehicle, and one, helping people, have healthier lives, or serve them, in their wellness, but also by sharing the business opportunity, which is, starting a business with me. And what's really awesome is, like I said before, is in growing my wellness business and working this vehicle alongside what I do to get to where I want to go. I get to help other people do that same thing. And it may or may not be a vehicle for you, and that's completely fine. But let me tell you, it is worth hearing. It's worth hearing. It's worth listening to. It's worth soaking in, so you can make those decisions after. So people can find me, reach out through IG, at T Whitney Rise is my main account. You can also reach me through Facebook, Tara Whitney Risen. I'm also on LinkedIn. That's my full name as well. So any three of those platforms would be great, as well as my email address, which is still my full name, tarawhitneyrisen@gmail.com.
I love it. I love it. And the final question is, what is the biggest lesson you've learned from your reset?
It is okay to be more than one thing. It is okay to figure out that, you don't want to be where you were before. It's okay to own up to that. And it's okay to recognize that we are multifaceted people. And folks that may not understand how big your vision is may not be the people that are going to be best, to surround you in your life. And so I'm thankful for being able to discover that it's okay for me to be an actress. It's okay that I'm not doing that right now. It's okay for me to have a wellness business. It's okay for me to want more in my life than what people thought I wanted in my life.
Mm.
It is okay to expand my vision and want greatness. It's okay to do that. And, all I'm doing right now is, focusing on how do I grow my personal vision in my life as an artist, as a functional nutrition coach, and growing my wellness business. But how do I serve my community? How do I help people get healthier? How do I help people expand upon their own vision in their life? And how do I help and serve my family that I'm continuing to grow right now? That's all.
You all, that is a beautiful Beautiful, beautiful way to start off Reset with Raven. Tara Whitney Rison just dropped so many gems. And finally, she dropped that it's okay to reset. It's okay to not be just one thing. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to make changes. You all are going to be okay in this new year. This new year,
Yeah.
you're going to be more than okay. You're going to be
Mhm.
phenomenal. Again, this is Reset with Raven. I am Raven M. Harris on all social media. And if you're looking for a reset, connect with me. Let's have a conversation. Happy New Year again. And I look forward to connecting with you all.